Hello and welcome to the fifth and final and deciding one-day international of this series between India and Australia. Came down to 2-2. Today, of course, the match happening at Firozshah Kotla, Australia, got off to a flying start, you'd have to say, after choosing to bat after winning the toss. And then India pulling it back in the last 16, 17 overs. Australia getting to 272 for the loss of 9 wickets. And of course, wasn't looking like that. Was looking to get to many, many more. Because they were about 170 odd for one in 33 overs. Hello and welcome. This is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Mr. Zaheer Khan, Mr. Ajay Jadeja. Gentlemen, is it fair to say that India goes into the dressing room at halftime feeling pumped?
They will be because of the last 17 overs for sure. But I think the game is still in favour of Australia. You know, if you look at the game, it's not easy for new batsmen to come in and start playing the shots. And the wicket was getting difficult to bat as the ball was getting older. So that's something which Indian team will have to keep in mind. And the top order contribution is going to be huge in this match. Of all the games, I think today's game it's going to be all about how the new ball has been tackled.
Okay.
So that's something which we'll have to keep an eye on. And on the whole, it's looking like, yes, Australia lost the way. Indian bowlers came back into the game, but till then, I think Australia has been batting very well, and they've scored about 100 runs in last 17
So they
overs.
they were about 171 or 2 odd at 33 overs with 1 wicket. So they've got 100 runs for. Okay, let me just show it to you. I'm better when I read stuff. I'm lying. I don't know how to read. You guys know how to read.
So the platform was set to get to 300 plus. Okay, so from that point of view, you'll say that yes, Australia has not done well.
Yeah.
But from the
you're saying
game
with this,
point of view and
from
from
the game
the
and
track,
this pitch point of view.
Yeah, I think they might have just done enough to put pressure on this Indian batting lineup on these conditions.
So are you saying, Ajay, is it fair to say this is more like the Ranchi wicket where you want to get your runs up front as opposed to leaving it late because it becomes slightly tougher in the second half or towards the tail end to get runs on this pitch?
Yeah, similar, because as he said, it's tougher for somebody who comes in. The only difference that I see between that and here is that even if you look at the game today, there have been a lot of sixes hit on this ground.
Yeah.
Kuldeep Yadav gone for plenty, but not many singles. So the wicket is slow and sticky where, the ball doesn't come on, and when you come into bat, it's tough. But if you have wickets in hand, the bowler is always going to be under pressure to hit sixes or fours, because this is relatively a very small ground compared to Ranchi. So that is the only change. So you got to, whoever was dominating will keep dominating. That is how it works. And you have a chance to come back, because it's not an innings. I mean, even when we saw that list of, first power play, second power play, because it shows first 10 and then 10 to 40. But really what went wrong is from 32nd to 40th.
Yeah.
Because from 40 to 50s again.
Wickets in clusters.
Not really bad. They still managed to get runs in spite of not having wickets in hand. Yeah. But from 30 to 40, so that middle stage is where, because the singles don't come.
There you go. They pretty much took the spine out, right? Because you get Khwaja at the end of the 32nd, right? And then you get Maxwell, Hanscomb. Hanscomb was set. He had got a 50. He got 100 in the previous game, so obviously dangerous. And that wicket of Turner. Now, I found that wicket of Turner really interesting, because if they were probably playing that ball went to the boundary and he could catch it because this is a stop kind of pitch, right?
Yes.
Because if this had come onto the bat and the way he was striking it, this was probably out the stadium.
You're absolutely right. That was the shot which was played.
Yeah.
And the ball, how it came onto the bat, that decided where the ball was going. So the elevation he couldn't get, it went too high. So that's something which will be the case on this track.
Yeah.
On this track as a bowling unit, when now Australia will be going onto the field to defend this total, they'll be saying, okay, this is the sort of wicket where we can get wickets in cluster.
Yeah.
So even if there is a partnership, you have to stay in the game, because if one wicket can bring 2 or 3, because it's not easy for the new batsman to come in. Similarly, from the Indian point of view, I think it's very important to have these kind of conversations where you say, okay, this is the kind of track where it's not going to be easy just to walk in and start scoring runs. So you have to take that extra bit of time for new batters. New batters' responsibility that if a wicket has fallen, you have to go assess the conditions really well. So take more time than usual, but make sure that you don't lose those wickets in cluster. So that's how I'm looking at this game, and that'll be the interesting thing to watch. That whether these kind of talks have happened in both the camps.
But the interesting thing is that kind of play actually suits Rohit Sharma so much because Rohit likes to take his time in the beginning, Ajay, and then when he takes his time, sixes he loves dealing in.
Yeah, and it is that sort of a game where you will have to take your time. It's not 320, it's not 220, it's 270. It's at a score where what he's saying, when that cluster happens, if it happens right at the top, you still have time to recover.
Yeah.
But if you take time, as you said with Rohit and all, and if they take their own sweet time, and then you lose wickets between 70 and say 120, if you lose a cluster there, then it's more dangerous because otherwise somebody would have time to get in.
Yeah.
So then you'll leave hundreds at the last 10 overs, and then that'll be difficult if you've only got one wicket or one batsman or two batsmen left. So if you're going to lose wickets in a cluster, you don't want that. But top, I don't think will matter so much.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've got only two spinners. Both the spinners out of that, Zampa doesn't like wickets like this.
Okay.
He's actually bowled better when it's flat tracks. His length is such. When the ball stops, you get enough time off the back foot, and they don't have the fifth pure bowler. So you will have enough. And,
Fair point. Yeah.
I keep harping on that fifth bowler.
India listened to you today, but Australia didn't, Ajay.
Yeah, so then
It's
they will
because
pay for it.
you're not speaking in an Australian accent. It's like, well, five bowlers, mate.
My
Five
five
proper bowlers, mate.
Yeah.
So they've got Zampa, Lyon, Richardson and Cummins as their four proper bowlers. And then obviously you'll have Stoinis and Maxwell who are going to be doing fifth bowler duties. And the other day we saw Aaron Finch as well bowling.
Yeah, so count Finch in tonight.
Yeah,
tonight
because
for sure.
Finch would be useful. You saw with Ravindra.
Yeah.
See, anybody who's actually got a unusual action for spinners, what happens is on a pitch like this, when you bowl it from side on or bowl it from an angle, as a batsman, you don't know whether it's going to come straight or it's going to turn.
Yeah.
Because it's, you don't do it every time. When you see a bowler spinning it out of the hand, then it's easier for the batsman to pick. Finch got out to a ball from Ravindra, second ball only. He wasn't sure. Because this surface allows that to happen.
Also variable bounce.
So the odd guys are more dangerous.
Yeah, you saw Hanscom got out with that. It was really odd bounce because there was, almost a 1 foot difference between the previous ball and the same length that Shami bowled to him. And this one that just shot up.
Delhi is known for that.
Delhi is just known for unpredictable. Everything is a minefield. Delhi में संभाल के चलिए. कभी भी गिर सकते हैं.
सरकार का भी यही हाल होता है, कभी भी गिर सकते हैं. ये सरकार बड़ी strong थी.
You can, anything can happen. It's unpredictable. But is that the only explanation for that Hanscom dismissal? Is that just you don't know? One can be shooting up and one can be a surra.
But
Delhi boy.
As the
surra.
ball is getting older and older, these kind of things can happen. And it's not a wicket. You look at the dismissal of Hanscom, you look at the dismissal of Khwaja as well. Set batsman trying to force that shot, going uppishly. Why did that happen? You have Turner's example as well. On any other day on different surface, that ball would have gone for a 6. Didn't happen today. Similarly with Khwaja's dismissal as well. It was hit uppishly because the ball just kind of gripped on the surface.
Yeah.
And in Hanscom's case, it just kind of skidded through and had that extra bounce. So that shows what kind of nature of the wicket is. So and that is going to decide how basically a set batsman is approaching his innings. Of all the innings, I think today is one of those days where a set batsman has to take it upon himself that he's there extra bit of he's spending extra bit of time on the wicket if he's set.
So is it fair to say that this 272 is deceptively low? It's not as low as people would think.
Absolutely.
Because you're coming right off a 358 game, right? So people are thinking, 272, well done. But chalk and cheese, both these pitches are.
Definitely. And if you don't get the Mountain Dew down, then it'll become even more difficult.
Yeah, what's going to happen with the Dew?
Yeah, and had this been the first game of the series, I would have said, we would cruise through.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you've lost the last two games. Virat Kohli keeps getting runs.
Pressure ki potli.
Yeah, only Shikhar got that 100, otherwise he hasn't had a good run. Rohit's not had a run that he would like to see. So that top order is...
Virat will come at 3 today. Yes, he will. Positive affirmation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll come in at 3. So it's those 3 that really make a difference. I think, if you're going to get this total, you probably get it without being more than 4 down.
Okay.
If you go down past that 4, then I think it's 80-40 to Australia. I mean, not if it happens.
80-40, 120%? 80-20.
तो 20% डिस्काउंट भी है
अच्छा आपने एक्स्ट्रा दे दिया उसमें
तो कमीशन जो मेरा था वो भी मैंने इसमें डाल दिया
फिरोज शाह कोटा फिरोज शाह कोटा इफ इट्स दिल्ली देयर इज ऑलवेज रूम फॉर 20% एक्स्ट्रा क्योंकि हमारा भी तो होगा ना 10-10 हम भी रखेंगे थोड़ा बट द थिंग इज ऋषभ पंत एंड आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू सम आईपीएल स्कोर कार्ड्स फ्रॉम लास्ट टाइम वाचिंग सम हाइलाइट्स आई मीन ऋषभ पंत लव्स this ground. Obviously he's played so much at this ground, this IPL, domestic, everything, and this boundary is no challenge for him at all. So maybe does he have to, my question to you is, does he have to change his natural aggressive instinct if he's coming, because he could come to bat at 4.
Look, if
Questions.
Say.
No, I think if he comes to bat at 4, he has to bat as how whatever the situation requires.
Yeah.
You can't be batting as an individual and say, I bat like this. Of course, you do bat like that. Everybody has their styles. And more than styles, I think it's the limitations. The day you understand your limitations as a player, you grow much more. Because then you do what is you're capable of doing, and then you just hang around and defend and take a single, which is not in your comfort zone. And that is the only jump that I think Rishabh really needs to make in a one-day game or a 20-20 over game, because his striking ability is far superior than anybody else.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you got to be there for long enough to do that. Sometimes when you're young, you get carried away and you start playing the way I play. That shouldn't be the case. You got to play the ball. You got to respect every bowler
and the situation.
And you may get a ball like that.
There's a good news. The other day only the Rishabh's interview was out, and he was mentioning the fact that he has been ready to understand any kind of situation and play according to the situation. Then here is a chance now, to prove that put those thoughts to application.
I also think sometimes with Rishabh Pant especially, I know he's a prolific talent and there's a lot of limelight on him. I also feel sometimes a little unfair on him. The guy's played like 5 one-day internationals. And I feel like there's this whole sort of, it's just everyone is like, and I know he's done well because, the tests he's done well. So therefore there's some pressure of expectation. But I feel like it's a bit much sometimes. Isn't it?
Pressure of expectations is good. That means you have the potential. And when it's so early in your career, that means, everyone has seen your potential, and it's up to you to get used to it.
As long as all of us on the outside are getting carried away and he's not getting carried away, I think we're going to be just fine. With India, now you say 272, you say did India manage to pull it back? Actually, if you think about it, India should have actually stopped them at 250. This is when 9, 10, 11 become important, because if you're 9, 10, 11 with the bat can get you those 15, 20 runs, it's gold. India has not been able to do that with 9, 10, 11. Australia did that today, especially Jai Richardson did. Pat Cummins got a few big hits. But let's look at the India bowlers. The Indian bowlers stand out. Jasprit Bumrah bowled 6 overs for 12 runs. Then bowled his most, after that, how things change. After that, he comes back, he's bowled his 9th over was his most expensive in ODIs ever for him.
Yeah.
So he's bowled 8 overs for 14 and then comes back and gives a 19-run over.
See, but if you look at that 19-run over, what has happened in that 19-run over? He tries to bowl a Yorker, he gets hit for a 4. That's a bad ball, maybe. He's got 2 boundaries. He's so upset. Then there's almost a dot ball.
Yeah.
They couldn't run, but he picks it up and throws it so hard.
Hits the stumps.
Hits the stump, goes for 4. So when you start doing things like that, then what happens is in the last ball, Pat Cummins edges one too short third man.
Yeah.
See, because when your mind is not there, you're upset, then you're not looking at your fielders, you've not got your people in the right place. So that 19-run over, yes, stats it'll look, Bumrah must have got hammered, he's got 19 of that last over. But anybody who's watched the game, and I'm sure people who are with us enjoy the cricket, and they look at cricket differently, not just numbers, they would realize that it's not that the batsman did anything or bowler bowled badly. Yes, he threw that badly, and that added to another 9-run. So
you can't get agitated. Because if you're going to get agitated,
that's it. This game is a mental game, not a physical game.
You get agitated, the batsman's going to say, "See you later, agitator." In a wild crocodile.
No, but he was the one who has held this innings together.
Listen,
there is no doubt about it.
But we spoke about Ajay. I've got to tell you, Zach. Ajay and we spoke about it, saying, and his 5-bowler theory, and today I'm with him. I've always been 4-bowler and all-rounder and etc. Today I'm totally with him.
If I've converted you, I'll convert a lot of people.
You'll start. You'll convert the nation one stubborn person at a time.
Yeah.
But he's, Bumrah bowling where he bowled right? Allowing him to bowl those 6 overs and choke in the middle overs like that. Australia, that luxury was allowed because the captain could be attacking because he had 5 bowlers plus 2 part-timers.
Absolutely, and even though Kuldeep has had a tough day today,
Yeah.
it was Bumrah who held the bowling innings together.
Yeah.
He by 33rd over, if you see his contribution, he must have gone for 8 runs.
Yeah,
So when the pressure been put on Kuldeep, he was responding and being equally better.
But
at the
Jadeja
other
did
end.
that as well for Kuldeep.
Absolutely. So Finch's wicket was very crucial because he was the one who was really putting Kuldeep under pressure.
Yeah.
So that wicket has definitely helped. But generally it was Australian batting's plan, and they have kind of figured out a way of tackling Kuldeep. They were able to put that pressure back onto him. They have their options sorted now against Kuldeep, which Kuldeep will have to now draw some kind of a trick out of his hat now.
Yeah, you'll have to worry about it. The guy who has no shortage of tricks is Ravindra Jadeja. And Ravindra Jadeja today as well was, you got this. I mean, it's his kind of surface. It's one thing to say it's your kind of surface, but it's another thing to use it.
That's his strength. The one good thing about him is that he has never varied from his strength.
Yeah.
He's carried on doing it. He's played 150 odd one-day games for
Yeah.
India. So he's not spring chicken. He's not somebody you haven't seen. He has understood his game. I think it's the team management and people who like us who watch the game have probably still not understood his game. He comes about, does his business exactly as he does every day in and day out. He fields brilliantly. He bowls brilliantly. But if the surface doesn't offer anything, then it allows the batsman it makes it a little easier for the batsman to score off him. But if there is something in the wicket, he won't bowl a bad ball. I think one bad ball that I can remember, one short ball, that to Khwaja when he got pulled. You won't see many pulls being played against him. You won't see many cuts being played against him. So he carries on doing what he does best.
Yeah.
But it's so unfortunate that, in Indian cricket, you have a man who's played 150 games. He's not sure of being in the team, and the team management is not sure whether he should be there or not. He's still on trial. That's the sad part about Indian cricket at the moment. Because 150 games for anybody, normally if you look at anybody else around, even in history, by the time the guy plays 150 games, he's in the leadership team or he's part of the one of the vice captain somewhere.
Yeah.
But here you have a case where the guy's played 150 games. He's been around for 10 years. And you still haven't figured out what to do with this man.
Fair, good point.
And it's not that he goes yo-yo. His game is not any yo-yo. He's what he showed you probably 5 years ago, he's still there.
Yeah.
Or probably better.
Yeah.
But you still are not sure whether we should have him in the team, not have him in the team, take him. And that is not easy for anybody. This is what every player in that team wants to do, be part of that team. And when you make things uncertain, it's not easy.
It's a great endorsement for his temperament, actually. If you remember, after Champions Trophy 2017, he was out of the mix. There was like, we don't want finger spinners, we only want wrist spinners. Jadeja, Ashwin, both out of the mix. Comes back last year, towards September, is considered for Akshar Patel, who actually never played a game. He was just travelling with the team, right? And he comes and forces his way into the 11. And there you see, the results are right in front of you. And today he's batting at number 7, which is a better position for him than number 8, because not much you can do that. But he's there, and he is in your... You've been a Jadeja backer, right? You had him in your World Cup squad as well. Here.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, you did.
Are you bringing that squad up?
We're bringing it up. It's time for the My WC squad. That was the WC.
There's a sound.
WC sound. There you go. That's your... Achha, I like how in the middle, Zach, you've taken Shankar or Raidu or DK.
No, it's... I'll tell you what it is.
Is there a change?
Huh?
Have you made a change?
No, there is because GK has been going on about WC. I thought I should also get one WC there.
What WC?
I've got WC, wild card.
Oh, nice.
Has been the wild card.
I think this is Zach's mic drop moment, and we should just wrap up the show.
Wrap.
That's it. We can't get better than that. So you've got who's your wild card then?
Shankar, of course. Yeah. When I picked the squad, Shankar was nowhere in the mix. After that, he has come in the squad and he has created enough impression with most of the experts around that he looks like a certainty to go. Yeah. So I think the 4 fast bowlers point which I was making previously, if you don't have the quality 4th bowler option available, then and you badly want KL Rahul to go there as 3rd opener, then that's how you're going to accommodate that. Because when you have limitation in terms of picking up your squad, in terms of numbers, So the Indian team has been used to taking 16, 17 players on
Yeah.
tours. World Cup is not going to have that luxury. So you got to be smart in terms of picking up your squad. If you have an injury which is going to take the player out completely out of the tournament, it's not a big problem.
Yeah.
But you have to cover your bases in terms of what if someone is going to be injured only for a couple of matches, then how are you going to go about it?
Fair point.
And from that point of view, this squad I think is going to be hard on Raidu and Dinesh Karthik both, because they've been scheme of things through and through for last couple of years. Raidu that way has, in a way, has been a wild card entry of sorts, because
But you know,
he was not there.
We saw today
in the last
he's
couple
played
of
14
years.
games at number
Yeah.
4. He's got an average of some 43, 44. So, I mean, he was given the opportunity. It's not like he squandered the opportunity, but somehow he doesn't seem to be the flavor of the month. He seems like
The two
he's
guys
out of
sitting
flavor.
here are not big on numbers anyways. So
Sir, but run to number
if
में
you
तो ले
throw
जाते
numbers,
हैं.
no, then we have to then do the postmortem
आज
of
इसने
numbers
4
as
किलो
well.
रन बनाए.
एक है, अगर नंबर के इतने शौकीन हो, विराट कोहली 4 नंबर खेला था, कितने बनाए?
4.
तो फिर ये नंबर तो नंबर
That's why.
फैक्ट है,
But
नंबर पास्ट है.
I would counter that with his numbers at number 3.
Yeah, so
That's why he's suited.
I'm saying numbers are facts.
No, but
you
I-
don't need an opinion on anybody's
I
numbers.
agree with you.
Those are facts. The only thing is, it is a past.
Yeah.
That has what happened in the past. 358 was chased in the last game.
That doesn't
Doesn't
mean that
you will score 358 or chase it
correct.
every day.
रात गई तो बात गई.
Yeah, तो सर खेल का मजा ही है कि आज खेल कैसे खेलेंगे, आज क्या होगा, अगली बॉल क्या होगी.
तो एक जरा
देखने का मजा और खेल का वही मजा है.
On his list there was one thing which said /fast KL Rahul /fast bowler.
Yeah.
Who is that fast bowler according to you? If there was a fourth.
Okay,
to go.
if you ask me, ideal fourth fast bowling option has to be Umesh Yadav.
Okay.
So that's something which if you are looking at someone, then the experience also matters there.
Yeah.
And I just felt that Umesh is someone who has been sidelined unnecessary.
Yeah.
I felt that he has not got enough opportunities or has not been given enough confidence in terms of figuring out exactly what is his style. I think his style is wicket taking ability. So at times he is going to be on the expensive side.
Yeah.
But overall, if you look at it, his numbers, he will have impact on the game with
Upfront.
regard to numbers.
Yeah.
So that's something which, as a management, you have to give him that kind of confidence, which was not the case. So because it's too late now, before the World Cup, to make those changes, you might as well just go in with 3 seamers and have your Hardik as your 4th seamer, and Vijay Shankar. Why? Because he's providing that flexibility as well.
Yeah.
He's one guy who you can play at number 5 also, number 6 also, or if need be, if the conditions are very difficult and the team management has been very expressive about using Virat Kohli at number 4, then in that scenario maybe he's the right guy to be pushed up to number 3. So he's giving you that kind of flexibility in the lineup. If the conditions are really suitable for fast bowling, then he might give you 3-4 overs as well.
Interesting. Now let's look at Ajay's World Cup 15. Sorry. So what is your World Cup squad? You refused to make any changes. You were like, I am going to stand.
No, listen, you asked me to make a squad, I made it.
No
now
Vijay
what
Shankar.
is the use of changing every
No
2 weeks?
Kedar
Not that it
Jadhav.
matters. And I mean, this is not going to be the squad. I mean, you're not going to have captain as Dhoni. I may want him, but captain is whoever he is.
Yeah.
But the squad, I explained last time why I picked a squad like this. And I think now what will happen is you will probably have Dinesh Karthik out of my squad. You will have Ambati Raidu out of my squad, and Ravichandran Ashwin out of that squad.
Okay.
Everybody else
And the 3 coming
remains the same.
The 3 coming in?
The 3 coming in would
Vijay Shankar?
Vijay Shankar is already there in my squad.
Is he? I
Right,
see him.
right.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not there. No, he's not there.
How is he not there? I had not seen him. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So Vijay Shankar comes into that squad.
Kedar?
Kedar comes into that squad. And which is the other one?
KL Rahul is not there in your squad.
Yeah. So my squad was simple. Listen, Rohit Sharma, Shikhar
No,
Dhawan,
he's there in his Shikhar Dhawan.
right? Virat Kohli 3, Dhoni 4. This is your batting, pakka. You go to bowling, my 5 bowlers, pakka, 9. Now, depending on the conditions of the wicket, you play any of these all-rounders, starting from Hardik Pandya to
Vijay Shankar, Ravindra Jadeja.
to Ravindra Jadeja, to Ravichandran Ashwin, because in English conditions I'm counting him, because I was not counting on Kuldeep. His poor
you
fellows had
removed
a who?
You.
No, this was what I made. That
He's got
time.
Ashwin
No,
in the squad.
every week.
Interesting, no?
Look, if we sit here every week, we'll make a new team. Then it really makes no difference what teams you make.
Because our teams are going to go down the flash. It don't matter, but it is obviously
What matters
a
is-
great discussion point. It's great fun to have, and you can pipe in as well. Please hashtag Cricbuzz Live on Twitter, and you can send us what your WC squad is. Only rule is you got to make it in and around the WC, and then we will be flushing it down later. Those are the only two rules of this game. Right now, we're going to focus on this game. 272 is what Australia have scored. And for India, according to the two of you, important to start well, but also not start slow. Right? It's kind of,
Slow would still work, but
but you still need 5, 6 and over in the first time. Okay.
you
So my
can't.
question is,
you
where
can't
would
be
you
more
like
than,
it?
More than 3 down.
Yeah.
In over number 25.
Okay, 25. All right, cool.
That's a.
Yeah, fair enough. And you, what do you think?
I would say it's 60-40 in Australia's favour, the game as it
'cause
stands at the moment.
interesting.
The game is going to happen till about 30 overs. I think 30 overs. By 30 overs, you'll get a feel of where the game is headed.
Yeah.
But it's important to take your chances and play as many shots as possible. I think in the till the time ball is hard and new,
Yeah.
because there's not going to be much swing on offer. Maybe odd seam movement like how we've seen it with Shami. Getting that nice movement if you make use of the seam positioning. But apart from that, I think that's your best time of playing on the rise shots. As the game is going to progress, it's going to make things difficult to play those shots unless dew is a factor.
Well, is dew a factor? It was overcast today, so you don't know whether dew will be a factor or not. But it's not gone in India's favour in the last couple of games. All right, it's time for us to go. We're going to show you the joy factor question once before we go. We still want your answers to come in because it is a tough one today. And the question that Professor Joy has sent us, if we could just put it up on the screen and have a look at it. It ain't easy, but there's a joy factor question. It's never easy. If legendary West Indian fast bowler Curtly Ambrose's middle name Lindwall is inspired by Aussie fast bowler Ray Lindwall, which other fast bowler had middle names inspired by not one but 2 Windies greats? All right. Send us your replies on Twitter at hashtag CricBuzzLive. As Zach and Ajay have both said, it's kind of dodgy, this 272 for India. So, well, we'll have to go to Firozshah Kotla and see what really happens in Delhi. No, if it's possible, because, in Delhi with the pollution, it's very difficult to see too much. Can't see far ahead. So we'll tell you 1 over at a time. So we're going to see you in the 15th over with Sri Lankan Airlines and Visit Melbourne present Cricbuzz Combox, and Ajay and Zach are going to be there in the first one.
I think
No?
we'll be able to call this game in that 15th over.
Then it's got to be the two of you. I'll sit that one out then. I'll sit that one out.
You've been dying to do that.
Come on, one.
Okay, done.
Done.
I'll relax,
Say Abhideep
Abhideep will control it.
is done.
है ना?
Yeah.
Ajit, गाड़ी निकालो.
We'll call it in that 15th.
You'll call it in the 15th over? Done. It's up to you guys now. It's committed. Cut this clip and save it for me. So I'm going to go because my friend Kamlesh is here. So.
Because when you wake up, you'll see that.
Oh, you
what was the
haven't
call?
told them who Kamlesh is.
The
mystery of Kamlesh.
Kamlesh.
Still
We have
remains.
2 secret agents here today. We have Kamlesh and we have Satyadeep. Who are these 2 people? We'll tell you more when we come back on Cricbuzz Live at the end of the game.